Hello, it is the 18th Monday after Pentecost, and I wish you could have been here this evening for our Bible study on Ruth, but now we're looking at Matthew chapter 5, verses 21 to 26. And this is Jesus talking about, well, it looks like he's talking about murder, but really, murder is just the setup for him to talk about what really goes in the heart. There's no question that murder is wrong, that murder is sinful, and that murder will result in serious consequences. No, it's the things that are going on in the heart that lead to that. And sometimes the things that are going into the heart that we don't let lead to that, but are still evidence of our relationship to God and our relationship to each other. And Jesus addresses that. Now, he addresses it in practical terms because he says, sure, if you commit murder, you'll end up in judgment. But, you may even be angry with your brother, and it will result in you coming before the judgment council, before the court. And, if you let that anger fester inside you, it's like the fires of hell burning inside you. That's what Jesus is saying there, that you're liable to the fires of Gehenna, of hell, that you'll be burned up inside by that anger. But he says, and he puts it in terms of the church, really, in terms of those who are his followers. And he says, when you have an issue with your brother, when there's anger there, when there's resentment, when there's a problem, you need to go and settle that with your brother. Now, if you don't do that, you may in fact end up in court. You may end up with a judgment against you. You may end up having to have someone pay that judgment that you've caused while you're in prison. And you don't want that to happen, referring to the way the legal system worked then. But the important thing is that you need to be reconciled to your brother. The Sermon on the Mount is constantly about reconciliation. Jesus' ministry in teaching and in his redemptive acts are about reconciliation. And we need to live that life of reconciliation, or we're going to end up in trouble. We're certainly going to end up in spiritual trouble. We may end up in legal trouble. And there's no point in doing that when all you have to do is reconcile yourself to your brother. Even though it may be difficult, even though it may hurt your pride, it's the least expensive option, really. And it's the one that will change you on the inside. I want to encourage you with that, whether you have a problem with anger or not, that you need to stay reconciled to your brothers so that God can work in your heart and do the things that he wants to do through you. I encourage you with that word today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.